Thank you to all who have joined today. My name is Lindsay Gerhardt. I'm the Assistant Dean of Admissions at Genesee Community College. By the end of this presentation, our goal is to have you have a good picture of what GCC can offer students both on campus and online. We're going to start with a short video of the college.
Situated on 240 beautifully landscaped acres, GCC is one of the top-rated community colleges in the country and part of the SUNY system. GCC is located in historic Batavia, New York, approximately 35 minutes from the Buffalo Niagara International Airport, 30 minutes from the Greater Rochester International Airport, and less than a 6-hour drive from New York City. When you attend GCC, you walk in as a student and walk out ready for employment in the career of your choice, or fully prepared to transfer to a 4-year institution.
All right. So let us introduce you to the speakers that you're going to be hearing from today. This is our GCC admissions and enrollment management team. So actually, they're right here, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
So I'll go. My name is Leandro de Andrade Pereira, and I'm one of our admissions counselors here at Genesee Community College. I'm also an alumni from GCC. I graduated in 2012, and then now I'm working with GCC.
Hi there, I'm Susan Ryan. I've been at GCC for 20 years, and most recently my position is nursing specialist as part of the admissions team.
Hi, I'm Joe Bailey. I'm the Director of Financial Aid, and I've been at Genesee for 23 years.
And we apologize, Joe's picture is not on the screen, but he's in the cougar there. We can. All right, so let's get started. All right, here we are. In a sentence, I would describe Genesee Community College as a small, public, affordable community college dedicated to innovative programming, collaborative partnerships, and student success, all within a very caring community. Take it from me, GCC is definitely a very special place. Whether you take classes online or on campus, everyone, including faculty and staff, are here to help you succeed. Next slide, please. Thank you. For those not familiar with GCC's location, the main campus center is located in Batavia, New York. Batavia is between Buffalo and Rochester. GCC is only 3 hours from Toronto, 2 hours from Syracuse, and approximately 6 hours from New York City. The city of Batavia is equipped with all one could mean and want, I would say, 5 pizza places, banks, convenience stores, medical center, urgent care, at least 4 main grocery stores, our own mall, and we have our own casino, restaurant, and racetrack called Batavia Downs. GCC also has smaller campus centers surrounding the GLOW region. GLOW stands for Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, and Wyoming counties. And I would say we are the pioneers of online learning, with courses offered in many learning modalities. GCC has a diverse student body of over 5,200 students. At Genesee Community College, our students enroll right out of high school. Students also come to GCC as transfer students, which means they started at another college and then decided to enroll at GCC. We also have adult learners and students who choose to complete their academic program 100% online. While 68% of GCC students are from our GLOW region, the rest of our student body comes from adjacent counties as well as New York City and internationally. GCC is proud to host 136 international students from 29 different countries. At GCC, you are not a number. Our average class size is around 14. Faculty at GCC are accessible and care. In fact, over 66 of GCC faculty have been awarded the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching. Additionally, GCC faculty know and understand today's job market because a number of GCC faculty still work in the field they are teaching about. Some GCC faculty are also professors at 4-year colleges. So why pay the 4-year tuition costs when you can take the same general education or possible introductory course at Genesee Community College? GCC also offers a high flex learning option in addition to other online modalities. A high flex course allows students to choose whether they attend class in person in the classroom, through web conferencing into the live classroom, or online at one's own time. All assignments will be available online. Students can choose the delivery mode that fits their preference and schedule, and you don't have to attend any classes in person. Go to the next slide. GCC offers over 60 different academic programs, as well as certificates and micro-credentials. Students graduate from GCC with an associate's degree, and there are 3 different kinds of associate's degrees. We offer the AS degree, which is the Associates in Science, the AA degree, which is the Associates in Arts. These 2 particular degrees are more transfer friendly because they can have more of the general education courses. And then we also have the AAS degree, which is the Associates in Applied Science, which is geared more towards entering the workforce. Definitely students have transferred with the AAS degree as well. It's just the difference a little bit in the degrees. And then what you see right here are the main headings of our degree programs. Just to briefly run through what you can expect under each of these headings. Under our Business and Commerce program, we have a major in accounting, business administration, economic crime investigation, entrepreneurship, fashion design, which is a big one here at GCC, which has different concentrations in e-commerce, event planning, merchandising management. What's unique about our fashion program is that we also have our big capstone project, which is the longest running fashion show. We also have tourism, hospitality, and event management under this main degree program heading. Recently, the program has been revamped to have a heavier focus on events, courses in customer service, global destinations, and social media. Information technology, you'll find programs in computer information systems, computer repair, systems and network technology, help desk support, which has been my friend, and web design. Under the creative arts, we offer communication and media. GCC actually has our own licensed radio station. We have a TV production studio with Edit Pro equipment and our photographic darkroom. We also offer programs in digital arts, fine arts, musical theater, and theater arts. Under the health and physical education, you'll find fitness and rec personal training, physical education studies, as well as sports management. Healthcare has an asterisk because we have some competitive restricted programs under our healthcare major. So students are admitted to GCC, the college, and then there's additional requirements to get into programs, which are our nursing, respiratory care, vet tech, which also has a new lab and surgery suite, and physical therapy assistant. We also have a brand new health studies AS degree underneath that title. And you're going to learn more about those competitive programs from Ms. Susan Ryan in a little bit. Under human services, we offer programs in alcohol and substance abuse, developmental disabilities, child care. Under the law and criminal justice, we have corrections counseling, forensics, homeland security, emergency management, policing, paralegal studies, which our program is approved by the American Bar Association. Also, we have a brand new criminal justice tech center with GoPro cameras, fingerprinting station, a 911 simulator, realistic training judgment simulator. It's a brand new facility. Liberal arts is everything that one would imagine under liberal arts, your English, science, math, social sciences, sociology, psychology, all of that is under our liberal arts. Office tech and support, you'll find medical administrative assistant major. And then under our science and technology, we have our computer assisted drawing program, biotechnology, and engineering science. And then last but not least, our teacher education program offers a teacher assistant as well as a teacher education transfer program. So lots of things to choose from. And more importantly, if you have no idea what you'd like to study, general studies is definitely what I would encourage students to take advantage of that program. It's an AS degree in general studies, which would really give you exposure to what's available, and those are more your transfer friendly courses as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Susan Ryan. We do have a short video as an introduction to our healthcare programs.
At GCC, you will find collaborative and caring learning environments everywhere you look. Through small group lectures, demonstrations, and one-on-one instruction, our prominent faculty members help students in the healthcare programs develop the clinical skills and compassion needed to become well-prepared, patient-focused clinicians. Students also gain highly valued clinical experiences in an array of medical facilities such as hospitals, rehabilitation centers, sleep clinics, and veterinarian offices throughout the Rochester and Buffalo, New York region.
Good afternoon. So once again, I'm Susan Ryan, and I am the nursing admission specialist at GCC, but I'm going to talk to you now about all of our restricted programs. And those include nursing, vet tech, PTA, which is physical therapist assistant, and respiratory care. It is important to be aware that all of these programs have additional admission requirements and application deadlines. So the policies and procedures for each do differ, and each program has posted them on our webpage or on our website. They have their own webpage, and you can find them there. You are encouraged to, in addition to reading those admission policies and procedures, to attend the specific program information sessions, depending on which of the program or programs you might be interested in hearing more about. Like I said, there's information available on our website. And some of those information sessions are actually a requirement of the admission process. So please go on to each program's webpage and register for one of those sessions if you're interested. We certainly hope you are. Another thing I would like to say this afternoon is it is never too soon for you to start to understand the application process and the requirements for these programs. Because if you're in high school, as a high school junior or senior, or maybe even before that, you can start to prepare for direct admission opportunities into these programs. Or if you're no longer in high school, or if you're not able to be considered for direct admission through high school, then many students do enter our health studies program and complete missing requirements as part of that program, and then apply later on into the restricted program that they're interested in getting into. The one thing I will tell you that is identical about all the programs that we have is the hands-on experiences in our own labs and clinical sites that you will enjoy as part of that program. So I'll start with nursing. We do have a slide up with some information about it, but I'd like you to, like I said, please come to an information session for more comprehensive program information. For nursing, we do admit a class of 72 each semester. Fall semester only, we do accept direct entrance from high school students. And our nursing program is a combination of both classroom and lab clinical experiences. And then at the fourth semester or final semester of our nursing program, you actually will partake in a preceptorship, which is a capstone experience that actually often leads to jobs for our nursing students. Our nursing students at the front end of our program, first coming in, spend more time in our labs than they do out in hospitals, because we have high-tech simulators that students can learn without there being any disadvantage if a mistake is made to an actual patient. We can't have that. So we do have students in those labs. And like I said, they're high-tech simulators. Those simulators can display symptoms. They have vital signs. Some of them, depending on how we have different levels of technology in our simulators, but some of them can even speak short sentences and things like that. So very high tech, great experience for students in our first semester to then go out and work in hospital settings and things like that. Once students do go out into clinical settings, our nursing students are in clinicals in 14 different hospitals and outpatient settings between Buffalo and Rochester, including the Batavia area at United Memorial Medical Center in Batavia, and then in Wyoming County and Dansville. There are hospitals in those areas as well. Our students in clinicals are 8-to-1, which means there's 8 students in a clinical to 1 clinical instructor. So it's a very hands-on, experience for the most part. And the NCLEX pass rate, that's something that you're going to want to take a look at regardless of what program you're looking at. So the NCLEX pass rate is reported by all accredited nursing programs, and basically what it tells you is how many students who completed the program at the school that they're at sat for the exam and were able to get licensure through the test. It's very important because if you don't pass the licensure exam, you will not be able to work as an RN. So in 2019, the national NCLEX pass rate was just over 88%. And in New York State, it was almost 86%. But in 2019, we're very proud to report at GCC that our NCLEX pass rate was almost 94%. And just as a little note to that, we're only allowed to report on first-time test takers. So there could possibly, obviously students who don't pass it the first time sit for it the second time, and that would mean our numbers would even be higher as far as that percentage goes. As far as nursing as a career, it's a strong job outlook. Most of our students have job offers prior to graduation. The high starting salaries, many transfer opportunities. Students in an RN program, in an associate degree of nursing program, do have 10 years to complete their Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. So that's a lot like the teacher model in New York State. They have 5 years to get their master's to continue to teach. A nursing student would have 10 to get a bachelor's. And I will tell you that many times when an associate degree nursing student who's working as an RN for an employer is finishing their bachelor's, their employer is either helping to pay for it or sometimes paying for all of it. So that's something to really think about if you're deciding whether to go into an associate degree program first or a bachelor's program first. It's the same licensing exam that you sit for. It's the same scope of practice. It just depends on whether you do the clinical experiences at the front end or later on if you start in a bachelor's program. So think about that. And then there's varied career pathways beyond both the associate degree nurse or BSN. After you become an RN, you can get your master's, PhD, doctorate, very many different career paths you can take as far as that goes. Next, we have a physical therapist assistant program. Next slide. And for that program, we actually accept a class of 30 every fall semester. And if your interest leans towards being directly involved in helping people to heal from injuries, relieve pain, and or regain or maintain function so as to lead a more normal, independent life, then the PTA program might be right for you. Students are assigned clinical instructors in those clinicals on a one-on-one basis, and there's guided learning at 3 different types of clinical internship sites for a total of 15 weeks. And that first would be inpatient, hospital, or skilled nursing facility site. The second would be an outpatient orthopedic clinic type site. And thirdly, a student would get experience in either a neurological or specialty setting, which might include head trauma unit or a rehab unit, or maybe even a school-based therapy placement. So those are the 3 types of placements that you can absolutely count on. In 2018, 2019, the average pass rate on the national licensing exam was 98% for our students. First-time test takers, the first-time test taker pass rate was 91.4 as compared to the national average of 84%. Our director did indicate that we had a 100% job placement for our last graduating class. The website does indicate that statistic to be well over 90%, but I was just doing a session with him and he had 100% last semester, so I wanted to bring that to your attention. Career opportunities for licensed PTAs include private practice, as well as hospital settings, rehab centers, and skilled nursing facilities, or even school districts. And that's why we make sure during those placements that I spoke about a few minutes ago that you have some experience in each of those areas. We also have a vet tech program that accepts a class of 24 students every fall semester. So for those of you whose aspirations in healthcare lean more towards working with animals rather than people, this would probably be a great program for you to take a look at. I heard the director of this program make a statement the other day that a nurse is to a doctor, much like a vet tech is to a veterinarian. We do have faculty, our faculty members are veterinarians and or licensed vet techs who continue to work in the practices in order to stay current in their field. Their hands-on training as part of this program includes 3 externships working alongside licensed vet tech and or veterinarians in animal shelters, where you would probably spend time working with smaller animals, dogs, cats, on farms, where you would work with large animals, horses, cows, sheep, goats, even chickens. They're not so large, but they're still on the farms. And then we also have some lab situations where you're working more with rabbits, mice, and things like that. Over 85% of our graduates have passed the national board on their first attempt. And the career opportunities in this field include clinics, animal shelters, zoo, wildlife shelters, farming industry, pharmaceutical and research labs. And there are also transfer opportunities that are mentioned on our website for this program. The last program I want to talk to you about is our respiratory care program. This program does also accept only a class every fall semester. The only program that accepts in the spring, if you didn't catch that, was nursing. So respiratory care looks for a class of 30 every fall semester, and respiratory therapists are tasked with evaluating and monitoring a patient's lung functions and circulatory systems. In the age of COVID, this has become a huge situation. Our respiratory therapists are in high demand. And as we've said many times during this presentation already, our instructors are often still working in their field, and our respiratory therapist instructors have been doing double duty for sure, trying to help during the pandemic. This program includes, or this career field, I should say, includes setting up and operating life-saving machines to deal with breathing difficulties resulting from injury or illness, such as asthma, cystic fibrosis, emphysema, COPD, maybe even a premature infant whose lungs aren't fully developed. Or, as I said, patients in the hospital on the COVID floors are often in need of a respiratory therapist. This therapist staff hospital ICUs, ER units, outpatient clinics, pulmonary rehab facilities, and even work with patients in home care settings. We also, as part of our respiratory care program, have the high-tech simulators for students to work on during the front end of their program, so that they are not risking any, hurting a patient, as they might make mistakes when they first start with us. Our labs are where they can, get the foundational knowledge that they need to then go out over into their clinical experiences. They will have over 900 hours of clinical experience when they complete our respiratory program. The clinical site placements include 20 to 30 different places between Buffalo and Rochester. And most of our students are offered jobs through their clinical experiences in this program as well. And we did just enjoy another 100% job placement of our graduating class.
All right, thank you. So much information, Susan. That was wonderful. And then at the end of this, we'll certainly, give you contact information, whatever you need to make sure if you have additional questions, we would love to answer them. The next big question that one always has is, okay, I really like what I'm hearing. This might be a good choice for me. How am I going to pay for this? So now we're going to turn it over to Mr. Joe Bailey to offer some advice, and how much does GCC cost, scholarships, all of that. So here he is.
Hi, as Lindsay said, my name is Joe Bailey. I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at Genesee Community College. And one of the things that my office does is we help students apply for financial aid. The first thing that we encourage students to do is to complete the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the actual federal form that students will complete, and you have to do it each academic year. And depending on where you are in the part of your college application process and search, if you're a current high school senior, you can apply for the FAFSA for the upcoming, what would be your freshman year, starting in October of your senior year. And you always want to make sure you're applying for the correct academic year because at various times there's going to be 2 FAFSAs always available. So you want to keep your eye on the right one for the year that you're going to be in school. So the FAFSA will help determine for us what you're eligible to receive as far as financial assistance. Financial assistance will include a number of different things. The first type of aid that we deal with are grants. Grants are the best type of financial aid because you do not have to repay them. The FAFSA will determine if you're eligible for the federal Pell Grant. The FAFSA also determines your eligibility for other types of aid, such as student loans, which many people don't like to consider student loans as financial aid, but they are considered financial aid. Obviously, you want to borrow as little of student loans as you possibly can, because whatever you do borrow, you'll have to repay. And then the last type of aid that we have, as far as the federal aid, is federal work study, where money is set aside for students to get a job on campus to help pay for their educational expenses. As you can see in this slide, we have a breakdown of the cost associated with attending Genesee. You'll see the column in the middle, which is for students coming to Genesee, what their estimated total cost is. And you'll see that there's a direct cost as far as if you're going to be living on campus with the room rent and meal plans and tuition. So that's a direct cost. But we also factor in other expenses, books and supplies, the personal expenses, transportation. So we estimate a student would spend approximately $17,560 for 1 year at Genesee. Now, as you can compare that with the bachelor's degree at a New York State school, the cost is a lot higher. So we like to look at Genesee as an economical way to get your education and hopefully not borrow as many student loans. So what we do is we take that cost and we look at your eligibility for things like the federal Pell Grant, the federal student loans, the federal work study, and we try to meet that cost as best we can. There's also some additional funding that you can get from New York State. New York State has a couple of programs. One is called the Tuition Assistance Program, or TAP. And TAP can go to cover the tuition cost at our institution. And there's another New York State program called the Excelsior Scholarship, which is many people call it the free college. Well, I want to point out it's free tuition at a SUNY school. And if you are getting other types of grant assistance that can go to cover your tuition, such as Pell and TAP, that will reduce your eligibility for the Excelsior Scholarship. But all of these, we will determine all of that eligibility for a student. You'll need to fill out that free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA. And when you're done filling out the FAFSA, you'll be able to click on over to the state application to complete your TAP and Excelsior applications. What's nice is that you'll be at the FAFSA website and it'll send you right on over to the state of New York website to complete the the TAP and the Excelsior scholarship applications. So it's a small investment of your time to fill out the FAFSA and TAP and the Excelsior applications, but then that allows us to determine how much aid that a student can get. Just to give you an idea, the federal Pell Grant, the maximum amount of Pell that a student can get is $6,345. And the maximum amount of TAP award that a student can get at Genesee is $4,550. So our neediest students could have almost $11,000 of grant assistance to help pay for their educational expenses. Now, I don't want to mislead you and say that everybody gets that much grant aid. They don't. That's why we have to have you fill out the FAFSA and TAP applications. So that's the main thing that we want you to do, is get that done so we can help you understand how much aid you'll get. One last type of aid that we have here at our institution are institutional scholarships. Our foundation has probably about 60 or so scholarships that we give out each and every year. If you go to our website, genesee.edu, and under the financial aid page, there'll be a link to the institutional scholarship application. And that's a kind of a one-time thing. You can do it each year. It's one application that you can apply for a variety of scholarships here at Genesee. You be prepared. You'll have to write a little bit of an essay and tell us a little bit about yourself. And we have various committees that review those and try to award the funding as best they can to as many students as they possibly can. So main thing from us, we want you to apply for financial aid. And that starts the ball rolling for us as far as determining how much aid you can get. And then from there, we'll send you information as far as what your aid will be. And if you have questions along the way, we're available to help you out with it. And the best thing to do is to always be informed, ask questions, and let us know if you have any questions or concerns. So I'm going to turn it back on over to our good folks in admissions.
Thanks, Joe. That's lots of information. So good thing it's recorded, so you can always go back and review this presentation. So moving forward, in regards to transfer articulations and pathways, so GCC offers over 200 pathways to completing one's bachelor's degree. We employ a transfer coordinator who hosts a number of transfer events and advisor residency days, where many of our transfer partner colleges have one-on-one appointments with students. GCC has 2+2 agreements, also known as dual enrollment, and articulation agreements, also known as transfer guides, with four-year colleges. Articulation agreements is a pathway between GCC and another college. What it does is it eliminates the guesswork of what will transfer. Essentially, it's a map of what courses to take and how they will transfer. Dual enrollment, also known as 2+2, the student already knows the four-year college they plan to transfer to, and they sign an agreement, and it's a guarantee admission pending one's GPA with that four-year institution. Students also transfer credits into GCC as well as out. We accept other college credits, AP, CLEP, and students may be eligible for credit for prior learning, which we can assess that based on work experience or other professional development courses that you may have taken. GCC offers ROTC opportunities with the Army through our SUNY colleague, SUNY Brockport. And then lastly, GCC offers a number of unique transfer opportunities. And what you see here is literally just a snippet of all the unique offerings that we do offer. So as you can see, we have some transfer pathways specifically from Buffalo State, Brockport, Alfred State College with construction management, RIT. We have early assurance programs with SUNY Buffalo, as well as St. John Fisher for their competitive pharmacy program, Cornell, Upstate Medical. So again, just a snippet of you can start at GCC, and there's many ways that you can transfer to finish a degree elsewhere. Next slide, please. Thanks. So one of the big things too at a community college is we are here to support you. We want to make sure that you have a great start and are successful, whether it's moving into the workforce or transferring to a four-year college to finish that bachelor's degree. So this is what you see here, a number of ways that how we support students. First is our access and accommodations office. So if you do have an IEP, a 504 plan, other specific needs that are documented, ways that you can be successful on this college, this is the office that we want to connect you with. We also have free tutoring, free counseling. All of that is free, to support students. In regards to tutoring, we have renamed kind of that as the Learning Center. So we have our tutor track, different like appointments you could do with an advisor. We have writing tuners, we have learning communities, as well as our own Star New York system, which is available way into the late hours of the night to assist you with coursework. So that free tutoring aspect of it. Unique to GCC is a grant that we have is our Adult Educational Opportunity Center, also known as like AEOC. What this office does is they offer free program that provides counseling and information on college admissions to qualified adults who want to enter or continue a program of post-secondary education. It also provides financial and economic literacy as well. And then that FAFSA, that could be a little bit intimidating. This is a wonderful office that can also assist you with that FAFSA completion for your financial aid. We have a childcare right on site here at GCC. It may or may not pertain to you, but it's a wonderful resource, not only for our GCC students, but the community at large. GCC students have utilized the childcare by going in for different classes. So public speaking has gone in and done, practice their public speaking in front of the children. So less intimidating than obviously your colleagues. Our nursing students, for in other healthcare for bedside manner, PTA have actually created an obstacle course for our children in the child care, which is wonderful because you can really see their gross motor skills and how they develop from, the wee waddler stage to the toddler to the preschool stage. So a lot of ways that child care has certainly benefited the college in addition to our community. Once you're a GCC student and hopefully a GCC graduate, you'll become part of our alumni network. We continue those services available to you even after you leave GCC. So different workshops available for all of our alum. So different career services is a part of that as well. So we're here to support our alum in making those connections too for employment. Career services offer a variety of workshops and support to students through major and career exploration, resume, cover letter writing, job shadowing, landing an internship. All of those things fall under our career services. We also have an EOP program. So it's educational opportunity program. I don't know why it says equal. Note to self to fix that, but educational opportunity program. And that is something that you would want to apply for as a student here at applying to GCC. And it provides academic and financial support for students to guide them through the rigors of their college experience. So it's extra financial support. And the good thing to note is that if you qualify for EOP as an incoming student to GCC, you can transfer as EOP to that transfer four-year college as well, which again provides you the financial and the academic support at the four-year school. And then last but not least, I think another unique thing to Genesee Community College is with the development of our Student Success Center came student success coaches, as well as our Campus Center advisors. But these coaches are housed in our Student Success Center and they guide students along your academic journey. So every student, once you are accepted to GCC, will then get assigned a coach or an advisor. And these are, once you're done with you've completed the enrollment process through admissions, we will kind of pass the baton and really connect you with that advisor into registering for your courses. Next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Leo.
All right, so if I'm not mistaken, we do have a video for this. So I'm going to do a video for our campus life, and then I'll come back.
Campus life at GCC can be summed up in one word: community. Whether you're sharing stories over coffee with fellow club members, taking in a bit of history, going on outdoor adventures, having new experiences traveling and studying abroad, or just learning to live on your own at College Village, our students are always growing and learning together. Our campus is located in Batavia, New York, an idyllic setting with a variety of restaurants and pizzerias, shops and entertainment options. Our students don't have to look far when it's time to unwind.
All right. So one of the reasons why I like to show that video, it's because you can see a little bit of the College Village. As a student, GCC here, you have the privilege or the opportunity to live here on campus. When I was a student, like I said, I was an alumni of GCC. And when I was a student, I stayed on campus. I lived my first year on campus, my second year off campus. So I lived both styles. And honestly, I really like the on-campus living because you have that society, you have your friends, colleagues, your classmates that's right there. Like there's all of these different opportunities on campus. There's like pizza night, there's a movie night, there's all these fun activities that the College Village or student activities will organize for you guys. You guys can just go and interact and just pretty much experience college life. So our College Village, our apartment style complex. So you have, you share the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, and then there's like two rooms. So you can either have like one roommate or there's another room that will have another roommate. So there's typically about 2 to 4 people per room. And like I said, you share everything else. It's an apartment style complex. So you get to cook your own food. If you don't want to cook, there's a microwave that you can go ahead and use the microwave. Or if you're one of those that's like, you know what, I just want to order out. We have a bunch of restaurants around the area that delivers. If not, there's DoorDash or all of these delivering facilities that will help you out. So we also have a brand new community single. What is that? Is that everybody has a single room. Sorry. So you have 4 rooms and everybody has their private room. We also have our brand new community apartment style complex. What is this? It's 10 rooms if I'm not mistaken, and then there's like 10 people living there, and then everybody else share it. If I'm not mistaken, there's 2 kitchens, like 4 bathrooms and showers and all of that, and then you go from there, interact with each other. So it just gives you that college experience and meeting new people and just explore opportunities that you have here at GCC. Our housing contracts are full year, so it's pretty much for the fall and spring. Then you don't have to worry. Sorry. Or I swallowed a little wrong, so I apologize about that. So it's full year, they don't have to worry about any of those. All right, so like I said, I can also show about like campus life. I do recommend everybody to get involved. Like Lindsay, my colleague, said that we have a radio station, so you can have your own DJ. There's a TV station, you can have your own TV show. There's a travel club that they travel everywhere. So last year they went to Las Vegas. And then the year before that, they went to New York City. So you get to do all these fun stuff. And by being involved in clubs, we also have athletics. So if you want to play sports, there's 11 sports you can pick and choose from. We have men's and women's basketball, men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's swimming and diving. We also have volleyball, baseball, softball, and men's and women's soccer. So if you're interested in athletes or play a sport here at GCC, I always recommend reach out to the specific head coach and say, hey, I want to come play. What's my next step? And they'll guide you. We also have study abroad program that you can go take a semester abroad, or if just take a class over the summer and go to Ireland and do history or photography and just like learn new stuff, new cultures, while still taking a class here at GCC. As you can see in the background, that's just our new call arena. But at the same time, that's where we celebrate our graduation. So once you graduate, you'll be able to walk the stage in that arena with all your friends and family and just broadcast like your achievement. And in the picture, you can also see our fashion show. Like Lindsay mentioned, we also have our fashion show every single spring semester. And it's like one of the longest and biggest fashion show in the community college level in the last I think it's 42 years they've been holding that. So as a fashion major, this is your baby. You do everything there. Like you set up your stage, look up for your models, work with our business department to help our budgeting, work with a digital department or digital majors to make your posters and visual effects and everything like that. So which is an awesome thing to do. Like I said, we always recommend get involved because it makes your college life here at GC just go just like that and just makes it fun and get to know new people.
Thanks, Leo. I also want to mention we have our leadership certificate, which is open to all students as well. That will be noted on your transcript if you decide to complete that. We also have our own campus safety on campus and a number of emergency blue lights and free parking. So free parking, free printing. So just a bunch of things. Our student engagement inclusion office, also known as student activities, has a lot of leadership opportunities to really build up that resume. So thanks, Leo, for all of that great introduction. So last but not least, thanks for staying with us, is the application process. So I really hope that you learned a lot, enjoyed what you heard, and are deciding to apply to the college. Our application process is pretty easy. We have a free online application right on our website at genesee.edu. You would just click that, and then you would click on seeking a degree, and then fill that information out. And that would come directly to the college. And then to complete your application, we just need proof of high school graduation or equivalency. Once we get that transcript or your copy of your GED or equivalency diploma, then you have been accepted to the college. Notice that if you are currently in high school, we'll need to follow up with a final transcript just to show proof again of graduation. But that's pretty much our requirement. Now, again, as Susan was mentioning, we do have some competitive programs. So keep in mind that you are accepted to GCC. And then if you are applying for one of those competitive programs, you'll need to follow the the deadlines and all of, that's required for those competitive programs to be accepted into those restricted majors. But this is how you would be accepted to the college. So free application and then transcript, accepted to the college. And then your next steps would involve, you'll see placement testing down there. Now, right now, we do have some flexibility in regards to multiple measures placement testing. So utilizing your high school transcript, you may be able to place out of reading in the English and just need to take the math. So we do have some other ways besides just taking the placement test that we can assess if you've met the proficiencies to get registered for those courses. So that's where working with your advisor or success coach is going to be very important to determine if you need placement testing or not. And the big thing with placement testing is really just to make sure that you're starting where you're going to be successful. We don't want anyone jumping into a course that you're not ready for, and then you start off your college, college program off not on a great start. So we want to make sure that you're ready to go and do the best to your ability. Once we know where you're ready to start, again, working with your advisor or your coach, we're going to get you registered for your courses. And the big thing as well is not only planning for that semester, but planning to complete your degree here at GCC. So they'll look at you and pick out, the classes, what your interests are, and make sure that you're on track, to receive that associate's degree. So it's more long-term planning. So looking at the full time that you're at GCC, this is what you would take in the fall. This is what you would take in the spring. If you're interested in taking advantage of one of our shorter sessions, like a summer session, there's all those different opportunities that you would work with your advisor. And again, just some extra things if you decide to enroll at the college is you want to make sure that you complete that financial aid, as Joe mentioned. We will require immunization forms to be signed if you're taking classes on campus. And then last but not least, unique to the community college is the certificate of residence. And depending on what county you're from, Genesee County, you pretty much just fill out the application and send it to GCC. If you're from a different county, so outside of Genesee, you'll have to have a signature notarized and then submit it to the county treasurer to get that sent to GCC. We want to make sure that we do have this no further than 30 days out from the time that classes start, and that it is good for 1 year and it's on file, because if it's not here, then you will be charged double tuition. So it's important that we do receive that certificate of residency if you decide to enroll at the college. So lots of information. Thanks for sticking with us. If you do have further questions, here's the admissions email. So admissions@genesee.edu. We can get you in touch with Susan if you need to, or whoever, right through this one email. And if you do have questions in regards to specifically financial aid, very easy, financialaid@genesee.edu. But either way, if you just go to admissions, we'll make sure we connect you with the right people. So thanks for joining us. I hope that you had all of the information and questions, but feel free to reach out.